Listen closely, my beloved son, for there are moments when the heart must be fully open to truly receive what is being said. This is one of those moments. What I share with you now comes from a place beyond what your eyes can see or your mind can fully understand. There are things unfolding around you, things you have not perceived, but they are as real as the air you breathe. I speak because I see the entire picture, not just the fragments visible to human eyes. What you are about to face is not meant to harm you, but to awaken you to a deeper purpose that is calling your name. There is someone in your life, someone you care about deeply, who is walking through a silent storm. Their smile may remain unchanged, their words may not reveal it, but within them rages a battle they cannot explain or show. They carry a weight so heavy that even they have not fully grasped its size. It is not visible to the world, but it echoes through their thoughts when they are alone. I see it, I know it, and it is why I am reaching out to you now, because you are meant to be a part of what happens next. What approaches is not a random event or mere coincidence. It is a moment of decision, a crossroad that will determine much more than you realize. You have been chosen to stand in a place of protection, of love, and of unwavering support. This is not simply about comforting words, but about being a light that refuses to dim, even when darkness tries to close in. The battle is hidden because it was never meant for just anyone to see. Only those who truly care, those who are listening to me now. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment sharing your thoughts. Your support means a lot and keeps this space growing. You may begin to notice it in the smallest things, a sigh that lingers longer than usual, a distant gaze that seems lost in thought, or words left unspoken because they are too heavy to say aloud. These are not random moments, my son. They are signs. They are gentle nudges from me, urging you to look beyond the surface and see the pain that is quietly pleading for help. Ignoring these would be turning your back on the very task I am assigning to you now. This person will not ask for help, not because they don't need it, but because they fear being a burden. They have convinced themselves that silence is strength, that carrying this weight alone is their only option. But I tell you, no one is meant to carry such a load alone. That is why I am sending you. Your presence, your understanding, and your love are the tools I have placed in your hands. Do not underestimate how powerful they are. Time is moving quickly, and this moment will not wait for when you feel ready. I need you to act even when you're unsure, to step forward even when you don't fully understand what is happening. Your willingness to simply be there, to listen without judgment, will open a door that this person thought was forever closed. They need to know, even without asking, that someone sees them, truly sees them, and refuses to walk away. Take a second to like, comment, and subscribe. It keeps this channel going and helps these stories reach more hearts who need them. This is not just about what is happening now, but about what is coming. There are consequences that ripple from silence and inaction, just as there is healing that flows from love and faith. The enemy seeks to use this moment to isolate and destroy, to convince you both that nothing can be done. But I tell you the truth, much can be done, and it starts with you. You are the vessel I have chosen to carry hope into a situation that feels hopeless. In the quiet of your heart, I need you to prepare yourself. Do not enter this battle with fear, but with the certainty that I am walking with you. You will not have all the answers, and that is all right. What matters is your heart, your willingness to stand firm, even when the ground feels shaky beneath you. Your strength will not come from what you know, but from who you are and whose you are. Watch carefully, listen intently, and trust the nudges I send your way. You may find that a conversation you almost overlooked was the moment I was speaking through them. A simple question, a moment of eye contact, a hesitation in their voice. All of it will be part of the story I am weaving. Do not dismiss what feels small. In my hands, even the smallest gesture can become the turning point of a life. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you haven't yet, subscribe and stay connected for more content like this. Finally, my son, know that you are not alone in this assignment. I am already working behind the scenes, preparing hearts and opening paths. I need you only to say yes, to open your heart wide enough to see what your eyes cannot. This is your moment, your call to rise not as a savior, but as a beacon of love. The battle is real, but so is the victory I have prepared, and it begins with you stepping forward. There will come a moment when everything feels heavy, not just for them, but for you as well. You might feel the weight of their silence pressing on your own heart. Doubt may creep in, telling you that you're not strong enough, not wise enough, not ready for what lies ahead. But I tell you now, do not believe those whispers. They do not come from me. They come from the fear that wants to keep you still. What is required of you is not perfection, but presence. Your simple willingness to show up, to stay when staying feels hard. You will wonder if what you say even matters, if your words carry any weight at all. But what they need most is not perfect words. It is the sound of your voice, the warmth of your presence, the quiet reassurance that someone is standing with them. Your words may stumble, your voice may tremble, but your heart will speak louder than any sentence you could ever form. Do not let the fear of saying the wrong thing keep you from saying anything at all. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you want to hear more stories like this. Your support helps this community grow. Understand this, the person you are being sent to is not weak because they are struggling. They are not broken beyond repair because they are lost in this moment. They are a soul under siege, a heart caring more than it was ever meant to bear alone. What they need is not judgment nor solutions wrapped in easy answers, but a safe place, a harbor in the storm. You have been chosen to be that harbor. There will be times you catch glimpses of the storm they hide so well. A crack in their voice, a tear they wipe away quickly, a forced smile meant to convince you and themselves that everything is fine. Pay attention, my child. Those moments are sacred invitations. They are not accidents. They are signs that the walls they have built are starting to weaken. You are being given permission to step closer, to ask the question no one else dares to ask. Are you truly okay? Do not rush to fill the silence that follows. The silence will be heavy, yes, but it is in that silence that truths long buried might finally rise. Your patience in those moments will be more powerful than any advice you could give. Let them speak when they're ready, and if words don't come, let your presence say what words cannot. The greatest healing often begins, not with answers, but with someone willing to simply listen. If you're still here and feeling every word, please remember to like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you felt while listening. I know this journey will test you. You will carry not only your own burdens, but theirs as well. Some days you will feel like you are walking through darkness without a lamp, unsure of which way to turn. On those days, remember that I am your light. You are never meant to walk this road alone. When your strength begins to fade, call out to me and I will renew you. You need only take the next step, not see the entire path. This assignment is about love in its truest form. Love that does not demand, does not judge, does not seek its own reward. It is about standing in the gap when no one else will. You may never fully see the impact of your actions, but trust that the seeds you plant in these moments will grow. They will remember your kindness long after the storm has passed. It will become part of the story they tell, the story of how they made it through. You may even find that in helping them heal, pieces of your own heart begin to mend. That is the beauty of love. It heals in both directions. What you pour out will never be wasted. I see every effort, every prayer, every moment you choose to stay, when it would be easier to walk away. None of it goes unseen. None of it is in vain. You are doing holy work, even if it feels ordinary. There will be moments of breakthrough, sudden, quiet moments where you see a glimmer of the person they were before the weight of the world dimmed their light. Cherish those moments. They are signs that healing is happening, even if slowly. Celebrate the small victories, a genuine smile, a laugh that rings true, a moment when their shoulders finally relax. These are the signs of life returning, hope rising. Take a second to like, comment, and subscribe. It keeps this channel going and helps these stories reach more hearts who need them. And when the time comes, and it will, when the storm begins to lift, do not rush away. Stay long enough to see the sunlight break through. Remind them, even then, that you are not going anywhere. Sometimes the hardest part is not surviving the storm, but learning how to live again when it's over. Walk with them, my child, until they are ready to walk on their own. And when they do, you will know you answered the call, and you did not fail. There will come a time when your own heart begins to question why you were chosen for this. You will look at your hands and wonder if they are truly capable of carrying someone else's pain. Doubt will whisper that you are not strong enough, that perhaps someone else would have been better suited for this task. But hear me now, it was never a mistake. I chose you because I placed within you the strength, the compassion, and the endurance needed for this journey, even if you cannot yet see it. You may not realize it, but there is a quiet strength in your spirit that others feel long before you speak. It is not about what you do or say perfectly. It is who you are when everything else is stripped away. You carry within you a light that shines brightest in dark places, a warmth that comforts simply because you remain steady when the world feels like it's falling apart. That is why you were called. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment sharing your thoughts. Your support means a lot and keeps this space growing. This path will not always be clear, and there will be moments you fear you are making no difference at all. You will pour yourself out, and some days it will feel like you are offering water to someone too thirsty to drink. But trust me, it matters. Every time you show up, every moment you choose to stay, you are breaking down walls they spent years building. You are proof that not everyone leaves when things get hard. In this journey, you will learn more about the depths of your own soul than you ever expected. There is courage buried deep within you, courage that only surfaces when you are standing face to face with another's pain. It will surprise you the way you lean in when others back away. You will discover that real bravery is not found in grand gestures, but in quiet moments, the times you choose to sit with someone in their sorrow and simply be there. There is something sacred about holding space for someone else's grief. It is an unspoken promise that says, you don't have to carry this alone. You may not understand the exact weight of their pain, but your willingness to share the burden will speak louder than words ever could. In that moment, you become a vessel, not just for comfort, but for hope, for love, for healing. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment sharing your thoughts. Your support means a lot and keeps this space growing. The world may never know the battles you fight silently for the sake of someone else. They won't see the nights you lay awake praying for the strength to keep going, or the moments you break down in private because it all feels too heavy. But I see it, and I need you to know. Those unseen moments are where true love is proven. That is where your heart grows stronger, even when it feels like breaking. You must also remember, my child, that you are human. There will be days when you feel empty, when you have nothing left to give. Do not mistake this exhaustion for failure. It is simply a sign that you need to rest, to come back to me, and allow yourself to be filled once more. You are never meant to carry everything alone. Even the strongest need a place to lay their burdens down. As you walk this path, you will witness transformation, sometimes slow, sometimes sudden. There will be days when you see the light returning to their eyes, and you'll realize it was never about fixing them. It was about loving them through it. Healing was never your job. It was mine. Your task was to be the hands that held, the voice that comforted, the heart that stayed. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment sharing your thoughts. Your support means a lot and keeps this space growing. And one day, when the weight begins to lift, you will look back and understand why it had to be you. You will see how every moment, even the ones that broke you, were shaping you into someone who could love without conditions, someone who knows what it means to stand in the gap when it matters most. You will understand that this was not just their healing journey, it was yours too. When it is done, you will not walk away empty. You will carry the quiet, sacred knowledge that you were trusted with someone's darkest hours, and you did not turn away. You stayed. And in staying, you became more than you ever imagined, a living testament of grace, of strength, and of love that refuses to give up. There will be times you wonder how much more you can take, moments when the road feels endless and the weight of carrying someone else's pain feels unbearable. You may question whether you were meant for this or if you misheard the calling altogether. But I need you to trust that even in those moments of weakness, you are exactly where you're meant to be. It's not the absence of struggle that confirms your purpose. It's your choice to keep walking even when every part of you wants to stop. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment sharing your thoughts. Your support means a lot and keeps this space growing. Along this journey, you'll come to realize that healing is not linear. There will be days when progress feels within reach, only to be followed by days of setbacks and silence. Do not let this discourage you. Growth often hides in the places you cannot see, in the quiet decisions they make, in the tears they finally allow themselves to cry, because they know you're there. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. You may find yourself longing for a sign, anything to prove that your presence is making a difference. But the truth is, some of the most important seeds you'll ever plant will bloom long after you're gone. You won't always witness the fruit of your labor, and that is okay. What matters most is that you chose to sow love, hope, and kindness when it was hardest to give. There will be moments when you feel invisible, when your efforts go unnoticed and your sacrifices feel thankless. But please know, I see every single thing you do. I see the way you hold back your own tears to be strong for someone else. I see the way you offer comfort even when your own heart is breaking. Nothing you do is ever wasted. It is all seen and it is all counted. In this process, you may lose pieces of yourself, bits of innocence, trust, and even hope. There will be days you wonder if you're becoming someone you no longer recognize. But don't fear this change. Sometimes, losing pieces of who you were is necessary to become who you are meant to be. What you gain in return resilience, empathy, and depth will be far greater than anything lost. It's also important to understand that you are not responsible for someone else's healing. You were never meant to be their savior, only a guide, a light, a steady presence. Healing belongs to them and to me. Your role is to walk beside them, to remind them they're not alone, and to trust that what's broken can be made whole in time, even if that time is longer than you hoped. One of the greatest lessons you will learn is that love does not always look like fixing someone's pain. Sometimes, love is sitting silently in the dark with them. It's letting them feel what they need to feel without rushing to pull them out. It's choosing to stay when it's uncomfortable, when you don't have the answers, when all you can offer is your presence, and realizing that is enough. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment sharing your thoughts. Your support means a lot and keeps this space growing. And when the burden feels too heavy, I need you to remember that you are allowed to lean on me. I am your source, your strength, your refuge. You were never created to carry this alone. Every time you feel weak, turn to me. Every time you doubt, come back to me. I will remind you why you started, and I will give you the strength to keep going when you feel you have nothing left. Eventually, there will come a day, maybe when you least expect it, when you see the breakthrough you've been praying for. You'll witness the moment the clouds lift, the moment the laughter returns, the moment healing begins to bloom. And in that moment, you'll know it was all worth it. Every sleepless night, every silent prayer, every tear, none of it was in vain. And when your journey with them reaches its end, you will carry the quiet pride of someone who chose love, even when it cost them everything. You will know the sacred beauty of being part of someone's story, not because you saved them, but because you stayed. You became a living example of grace, of compassion, and of a love that reflects the very heart of God. And that is a legacy nothing can take away. There will come a time when you must release what you have held so closely. This may be the hardest part of your journey, letting go of what you poured your heart into, what you fought for, and what you carried with unwavering dedication. But I need you to understand that release is not a loss. It is an act of trust. It is an acknowledgement that your role was never to hold on forever, but to faithfully walk as far as you were meant to go. Letting go does not mean forgetting. It does not mean that what you have given ceases to matter. It simply means that you recognize when your season in someone's life has come to an end. You have done what you were called to do. You have planted, watered, and nurtured, and now it is time to step back and allow them to grow on their own. This is not abandonment. It is love in its most selfless form. You may feel the ache of absence, the emptiness left behind by what once filled so much of your heart. Do not fear this feeling. It is evidence that you love deeply, that you gave yourself fully. It is a mark of a heart that was willing to risk pain in order to bring healing. But even as you grieve the ending, trust that what you gave will never be wasted. The love, the kindness, the prayers, they will continue to work in ways you may never see. There will be a temptation to hold on longer than you should, to cling to what is familiar out of fear of what will come next. But I need you to trust that when I call you to release, it is because I have something new for you. You are not meant to stay in one place forever. Your journey is one of movement, of continual surrender, of embracing each new assignment with open hands and an open heart. It is in the releasing that you will find freedom. When you let go of what is no longer yours to carry, you create space for new beginnings. You open yourself to fresh purpose, to new souls who need what you have to offer. Do not let the pain of parting keep you from stepping into what comes next. I have more for you, more people to love, more hearts to mend, more stories to be a part of. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment sharing your thoughts. Your support means a lot and keeps this space growing. And yet, even as you move forward, you will never truly be separate from those you have loved. The impact of your presence remains, woven into the fabric of their lives in ways you cannot measure. The words you spoke, the hope you gave, the moments of grace you shared, they are eternal. They will surface in unexpected ways, in quiet moments when they remember that they were once seen, once valued, once deeply cared for. Do not mistake endings for failure. Sometimes, the most faithful thing you can do is to step back and trust that what you have done was enough. It is not your job to complete every story, to ensure every outcome, to force healing where it is not yet ready to bloom. Your role was to be present, to love well, and to give what you could, and that is more than enough. When doubt creeps in, when you wonder if you should have done more, remember this: I see every unseen sacrifice, every unnoticed effort, every quiet prayer. I see how you gave even when it cost you. I see how you stayed when it would have been easier to walk away. And I promise you, none of it was in vain. Every moment mattered. Every act of love made a difference. One day, you will look back and understand why certain doors had to close, why certain paths had to diverge. You will see how each ending was a gateway to something new, how each goodbye made space for another hello. Trust in this timing. Trust in the journey. Trust that you were never meant to carry every burden forever. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment sharing your thoughts. Your support means a lot and keeps this space growing. And as you release what you must, do not forget that you too are held. You are not alone in this letting go. Just as you have been a source of strength for others, I am your source of strength. Just as you have walked beside them, I walk beside you. So take a deep breath, open your hands, and step forward with courage. The story is not over. It is simply changing, and something beautiful awaits ahead. There will be moments when the weight of everything you carry feels unbearable. You might wonder if anyone truly sees the silent battles you fight, the strength it takes to keep going when your heart is weary. But I want you to know that even in the moments when no one else notices, I see you. I see the quiet resilience, the way you rise each day, determined to give your best, even when it feels like the world keeps taking. You've grown used to being the one others rely on, the safe place where hearts find rest. You listen, you comfort, you pour out every piece of yourself. And though you never ask for recognition, sometimes it hurts that no one asks if you're okay. But hear me now, you are not forgotten. Every tear you've shed in secret, every silent prayer you've whispered, every moment you chose love over bitterness has been seen, and it matters more than you know. There is strength in your softness, even if the world tries to tell you otherwise. There is power in your kindness, in the way you continue to believe in the good despite all the pain you've seen. This tenderness of yours is not weakness. It is courage in its purest form. It takes bravery to love so deeply, to care so fiercely, knowing full well that not every love will be returned. You have given so much of yourself to others, and maybe you've come to believe that you are only valuable when you're needed. But you are not defined by what you can give. Your worth was never meant to be measured by how useful you are to others. You are loved simply because you exist, because you are uniquely and wonderfully made. Nothing you do or don't do will ever change that truth. It's okay to rest. It's okay to set down the burdens you carry, even if just for a moment. You don't have to be everything for everyone all the time. You are allowed to be human. You are allowed to have needs, to feel weary, to ask for help. There is no shame in admitting that you're tired. There is only grace waiting to meet you where you are. In those moments when it feels like everything is falling apart, remember this: you are held. Even when you feel unseen by the world, you are never unseen by me. I am with you in the silence, in the stillness, in the moments when the tears fall faster than the words can come. You are never walking this path alone, no matter how lonely it may feel. There is beauty in your breaking, because it is in those cracks that light finds its way through. You don't have to hold it all together. You don't have to pretend to be strong when all you want is to fall apart. Let yourself feel it all. Let yourself be human. And know that even in the unraveling, you are loved. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment sharing your thoughts. Your support means a lot and keeps this space growing. Your heart may feel heavy now, but I promise you, this is not the end of your story. There is still so much left for you. There are still moments of joy waiting to surprise you. Still laughter that will rise up from places you thought were long dead. The heaviness will lift. The light will find you again. You won't feel like this forever. So when the weight feels too much, I need you to remember that you don't have to carry it alone. Lay it down. Hand it over. You were never meant to shoulder it all by yourself. Let grace meet you in your exhaustion. Let love remind you that you are still enough, even in your weakest moments. And when you are ready, stand back up. Not because you must, but because hope is still alive inside you. There is still purpose in your days, still beauty waiting to be found. You are stronger than you know, and you are already so loved, exactly as you are, right here, right now. There will come a time when the people you love will outgrow the pain that once held them captive. You might not even notice it at first, the way their laughter returns a little lighter, or how they start looking toward the future instead of staring at the past. Healing doesn't always arrive loudly. Sometimes it slips in quietly, like the morning sun creeping over the horizon, slowly but surely filling all the dark spaces with light. And when that day comes, you might feel a strange mixture of relief and emptiness. You'll be proud, yes, proud that they found their way back to themselves, proud that you stood by them through every storm. But a part of you might also wonder, where do I fit now? You became so used to being their anchor that you forgot what it feels like to let go. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment sharing your thoughts. Your support means a lot and keeps this space growing. Let me remind you, your role was never meant to be permanent. You were the bridge, the safe place they could return to until they found the strength to stand on their own. And now that they can, it doesn't mean you've lost your importance. It means you've done something incredible. You helped carry someone through their darkest season, and that is a gift few people get to give. Sometimes, the hardest part of loving someone through their healing is learning how to step back once the heavy lifting is done. You'll want to stay, to keep protecting them, to shield them from anything that might cause them to stumble again. But that's not your job anymore. Your faith in them must be greater than your fear. You have to trust that what you poured into them was enough. Watching someone grow beyond their pain is bittersweet. You'll remember the nights you spent praying they'd make it this far. And now that they have, you'll wonder why it feels so hard to loosen your grip. But this is what love does. It holds tight when it's needed, and it lets go when it's time. Both are acts of courage. Both are necessary. As they step into their new season, You may find yourself facing an unexpected question. What now? For so long, their healing felt like your purpose. But your story doesn't end here. There is still life waiting for you, dreams you've set aside, parts of yourself you've neglected while you were busy holding someone else together. It's time to return to those things. It's time to remember that you too are allowed to grow. You might be surprised by what you find in this next chapter. The strength you gained from loving someone through their pain didn't just build them, it built you too. You've learned patience, compassion, resilience. You've learned how to love unconditionally. Those lessons aren't wasted. They're the foundation for what comes next, whatever that may be. There's beauty in knowing that you were a part of someone's healing, but there's also beauty in knowing when to release them. Let them walk their own path now, even if it means walking without you. Their story is still unfolding, just as yours is. And sometimes, the most loving thing you can do is cheer them on from afar. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment sharing your thoughts. Your support means a lot and keeps this space growing. So don't be afraid of this ending. Endings are not failures. They are proof that growth has happened. They mean that the chapter you were meant to write is complete. And somewhere out there, a new beginning is waiting for you too. One where you are no longer carrying someone else, but learning how to carry yourself. Lighter, freer, and full of hope. And finally, when you look back on this journey, I hope you see the miracle in it all. Not just in their healing, but in yours. Because somewhere along the way, without even realizing it, you were healing too. And maybe that was the point all along. Not just to help them find the light, but to remember there was always light within you too. There are moments in life when you will stand at a distance, watching someone you care about drift further and further away, and there will be nothing you can do to stop it. It won't be because you didn't try or because you didn't care enough. Sometimes people outgrow the spaces they once needed. Sometimes their journey demands solitude, and your chapter in their story quietly comes to an end. You'll sit with the ache of it, the quiet understanding that love doesn't always mean holding on. Sometimes, the purest form of love is learning how to let go. It's the moment you choose their happiness over your comfort, their growth over your presence. And as hard as it is, you'll realize that love was never about possession. It was about giving someone the freedom to become who they were meant to be, even if that path no longer includes you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment sharing your thoughts. Your support means a lot and keeps this space growing. In time, you'll look back at all the ways you loved them, not just in the easy moments, but especially in the ones where loving them felt like breaking your own heart. And you'll see how brave you were, because loving someone fully means risking the loss, knowing that it might end in silence, and choosing to do it anyway. There's a quiet kind of grief that comes with watching someone heal in ways that no longer involve you. You become a distant memory, a place they once leaned on, but no longer need. And though it hurts, there's something beautiful in knowing that you helped them get to this place. You were part of their survival story, a silent hero they may never speak of, but who mattered all the same. You'll find yourself wondering if they ever think of you, if they remember the days you stayed when it would have been easier to walk away. The truth is, maybe they do. Maybe in quiet moments, when the world feels heavy, they remember the way you held them together. But whether they do or not, your love left a mark. It shaped them. It mattered. And now, it's your turn to step into your own light. You gave so much of yourself, your time, your heart, your strength, and now you must pour that same love back into you. The part of your story that belongs to them has ended, But your story is far from over. There is still so much waiting for you. People who will see you, love you, and stay. Healing is never linear, not for them and not for you. You'll have days where you miss them so fiercely it feels like your chest might cave in. And other days, you'll breathe a little easier, remembering that you did what you could. And that was enough. You were enough. You are still enough, even without them. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment sharing your thoughts. Your support means a lot and keeps this space growing. In the end, you'll realize that some people are not meant to stay forever. They arrive to teach us, to break us open, to remind us of the depth of love we're capable of. And when their part in our story is over, we're left not empty, but wiser, stronger, and ready for what comes next. You won't always carry this ache. Slowly it will soften. It will turn into gratitude. Gratitude for the love you shared, for the lessons learned, and for the strength you found within yourself. One day, you'll look back not with pain, but with pride, knowing you loved someone in the purest way possible, by setting them free. And maybe, just maybe, you'll realize that this was never the end. It was the beginning of you learning how to love yourself the way you love them, fully, fiercely, and without conditions. Because in the end, you deserve that kind of love too.